This week on Not Sauce for Work, my co-host Terry Tam and I discuss some things because I didn't write a cold open. We get into all these topics, and we bring on Alex the intern to make fun of his Montreal Canadiens super fandom on this episode of Not Sauce for Work on the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. Welcome, everyone. You are listening and perhaps watching Not Sauce for Work. As I mentioned, I'm in the studio with Terry Tam. I'm Pease Del Reese, and the show is produced, as always, by the Eagle MS to Control. Boys, the holiday season is officially upon us. We had Thursday day football last week as Thanksgiving football, of course, graced our airwaves. And for myself, this is when we start to do all the Christmas decorations. And I was alerted to the fact that in Quebec, the province we live in, there is a Christmas tree shortage. I do a real tree, and there's a shortage this year.
Really?
Yeah, I
You know why?
accidentally sent it to our chat group. I was trying to send it to my wife, and I was like, nobody in this chat group is going to care. So let me use it on the show.
No, you know why? It's because Valerie Plante is too green. Our mayor, our beloved mayor.
So shouldn't we have more trees?
No, she's saying you can't cut them down. You can't. There's
Terry,
like a limit.
they don't get the trees from Montreal.
Yeah, from Quebec, though.
They're grown for this purpose. They're only grown for that purpose.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's entire farms.
I don't believe you.
I go there to get my tree.
It's like ducks from Lac Bromont and everything. They
Yeah,
literally have them just for eating.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
duck
tree
factory.
farm. It's a tree farm.
Tree farm.
A tree farm.
It's so
I would just want to blame the mayor. For
I
shit.
just go and I point at it and I say how much, and they take my money. But you can pay, and they like give you like a little like hatchet, and you can cut it down yourself, which I don't do because I don't have
fuck
kids.
that. You get the pine all over.
Yeah,
it.
it's terrible.
It's
It's
the
terrible.
worst.
I actually heard of a new service. I think it started in the UK where you buy a tree from a tree farm or whatever it is.
Buy a tree,
and at the end of the holiday season, so it's like they give it to you for like the 2-3 weeks or something. At the end of the holiday season, they take the tree back and they kind of like replant it and kind of keep it alive until next
That's
year,
bullshit.
where they give you the same
no way.
tree back. I
bullshit.
swear
No
to God.
way.
There's no way.
They give you the same tree back, and only when it reaches a certain height, it's like, okay, we're gonna go plant it in a forest. Now here's a new tree.
My tree is so dead.
It's like-
by the
it's
end of
like-
the
it's like
season.
a rental.
You're cutting the roots out from under it. There's no way it can survive another year.
Apparently, there's a way to salvage it somehow.
I don't know, 'cause
I think they cut
when
it
I-
off and they make like pine oil or something.
Like by January 4th or
Pledge.
5th, like our tree's out, our decorations are gone. I literally take the tree and just chuck it like out the door to the sidewalk, and it's collected by the city.
yeah.
But when I do that, it's pretty dead. Like it's already looking
brown.
pretty sad.
It's
right?
brown. Well, as this year's, I mean, growing up Christian, I had a tree every year. My girlfriend, she's Muslim, so it's her first Christmas with she really wants a tree, and I was like, I'm not really into the tree that much. I'm not really into the holidays.
When I had a condo, I didn't have a tree. With a house, it's weird to
I
not
get
have a
what-
tree. You
I
know
get
what I
what
mean?
you're saying. Yeah, so we're gonna get one. We just don't know if to get a fake or a real yet.
I like real, but it's definitely more expensive to buy a real every year than a fake tree one.
Also, the mess. We have
yeah.
a shaggy carpet.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna be picking out pine straws out of there for the next 2 years minimum.
yeah.
I think we're gonna go fake.
My wife wanted a real one, absolutely. And what happened with that was the arrangement was that's okay as long as you clean the pine needles, and it was great. She's got floors, so we're good.
Pine
good.
needles? That's what they're called? I call them pine straws. What the hell's a pine straw?
A pine straw.
I'm way off today. First, I'm blaming Valerie Plante for tree shortages.
The mayor who wants to plant more trees.
Exactly, but we're cutting them off. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She doesn't like
It
that we're
actually
cutting
is
them off.
called pine straw in
It
his
is.
defense.
Oh,
They're
okay.
interchangeable. Pine straw and pine needles
okay.
are interchangeable.
There we go.
All right, so
There
only
we
one
go.
mistake so far.
Listen, we taught the world. today.
Yeah,
We taught
we're
the world.
teaching you life lessons that you need for your everyday life. Pine straw, pine needle, interchangeable.
Do you do
They make nice mulch.
Yeah, a good mulch.
Do you do lights like Christmas lights and?
I mean, we're in a condo, so it's tough. But like,
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna be doing lights. But like, we're gonna put nice lights on the tree and stuff.
yeah, I put lights outside. We have lights on the staircase
We don't
inside.
even have blinds. You think I'm gonna get up there and put lights? Crazy.
Good point. Just blinding all night. Like, I
Yes.
just want to sleep. So yeah, that's that was the
Reminds
bane
me of
my
that
existence this
Kramer
week.
the
The chicken.
chicken
Yeah.
episode on Seinfeld.
Yeah. That was the bane of my existence this week. Eagle, what do you do for Christmas in terms of decorations?
Well, this year's different actually because I just moved into my new place. So we don't have furniture yet.
Humble brag.
We're still, yes. But we don't
Eagle
have
bought a
furniture
house,
yet
humble
because it's
brag.
all back ordered because it's coming from Italy and Sweden. Also humble brag. So
Yo, so
we're,
listen, don't brag
Not-
about IKEA.
not a
I
big
also
deal.
got furniture. It's from Sweden.
oh no,
I got meatballs from there too, Eagle.
it's not that Sweden.
It's not that shit part of Sweden. It's the more upper
the good
class
shit.
Eagle drives a Lexus piece. What do you drive?
Nothing.
Exactly.
I-
you drive the fucking bus, bro.
I have Eagle driving me in his Lexus.
Eagle has a fucking Lexus, a house. Do you have a house?
Yes,
I mean, technically you do, but it's not really a house.
it is a house.
Isn't it like considered like a duplex?
No, it's a house.
Oh,
It's a
you
semi-attached cottage, just like mine.
It is?
No, it just
I
it got,
thought you
it got
turned it in.
invaded by my mother-in-law. It doesn't. That's like saying Belgium's not a country because I got invaded by Germany. No.
So he
Well,
has a
yeah,
house.
yeah.
He has a house, but it came with squatters.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, it's different.
No, I apparently was given squatters.
You inherited squatters.
Well, okay, he lives in a safe area.
Wow, my area is kind of safe.
So all that to say,
There's only a few gunshots.
I have my
Like
Christmas
9.
decorations from my old place, which we brought, obviously. I bought a few little things here and there, but we haven't gone all out this year because it's like, if I get little figurines and I want to put them on top of like a mantelpiece or something, I don't have a fucking mantelpiece to put it on top
Yeah,
of.
nothing.
So you just put it on the floor and then I knock it over and I'm like, no, it's not worth it. So we're going to like do the official big decorations next year. But I have noticed a problem. I don't have a exterior plug on my walls outdoors except in the back. So I'm going to have to run an extension cable all the way to the front or we're going to have to get an electrician to put one in the
But
front.
that's actually okay, though. 'cause
Whenever you
can
hire
stick-
an electrician to do a thing, just have him put a plug.
But
in the
that's
front.
okay because you can just stick it to the side of the house. You're not even going to see it.
No, I know. It's just
But
more
you know
like
what?
annoying
This is
having
what
to
I used
run
to do.
cable and everything.
This is what I
There's
used to
also
do.
solar lights also.
This is what I used to do in high school. Well, not high school. When we first got our licenses, my buddies and I, we used to go and steal Christmas decorations from people's houses,
Sure.
and we decorate our French teacher's lawn with it. So what I'll do is I'll go steal people's decorations and just decorate Eagle's lawn with it.
Thanks, man.
Like deer and like those like inflatable trees. Like we'd steal the whole thing, plug it in. The guy had a whole set. He'd keep it for the next year too. It was great.
We have a
Mr.
weird,
Mardikian.
we have a weird tradition with our friends, where every year we have like a Christmas party with our group of friends, and instead of doing a gift exchange where we spend more money on Christmas,
You
we
just give each other cash.
we give each other garbage. Like we have lying around
Oh
the house.
yes, you told me about this.
As
it's a great,
terrible-
it's a great tradition.
The more terrible and the more inconvenient, the better.
Yeah.
One of my friends got a rotting bag of meat.
Rotting?
Yeah.
Can't
it was
use
a
it.
week old.
Okay.
Another one of my friends got a car stereo from my other friend's car that was 3 cars ago.
Okay.
2 empty cans of paint also given
Empty
away.
cans of paint.
Somebody brought a shower rod from Toronto.
Do you have to keep it for like a certain amount of time?
No, I just it's a way that basically everyone helps clear out their own garages and stuff. I usually just repackage what I get at work. I don't even unwrap it. I just put it under the tree.
Somebody should get a used tampon.
Yeah, used tampon's not bad. That's
Used
pretty good.
tampon's a
Or
good
a box of them. Like you just store them in like a peanut butter jar for the
Yeah.
year, and then you give that.
Or just get like something that'll like will rot. Like maybe buy like 7 boxes of like those like soups and stuff. When they rot, they explode. So like they fatten up. So just bring them all there, and the guy's gonna have like 7 boxes of rotten soup.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
We can do what we did to my friend. We used to have a gift exchange at his house, and we opened a can of tuna and hid it in his Christmas tree so he couldn't
idea.
find it.
Best idea.
But his cat did.
Well, if you do that to
Cra-
me, I'm going to set your house on
Crazy
fire.
story I heard about a tree and a cat. The young cat jumped in the tree, hung itself.
Yeah, I've heard
That
that
happens a lot apparently.
Yeah, because cats they can't help themselves. They have to fuck with the tree.
They're like, what's this thing going on? I need to attack it for some
Ooh,
reason.
There's a ball. I can play with the ball. ball.
They
and
just see
tree
the
falls.
reflection going off everywhere. They're going nuts. It's a trick. It's like what's the word I'm using?
These nuts.
That one. Heyo, perfect segue.
Is it for the
News?
news? It's the segue for these news. Terry, it's the news.
Is it though?
It absolutely is. Of course, the biggest news in the city was the Montreal Canadiens cleaning out their front office, but we'll get to that when we talk to Alex, the intern. He's got some thoughts, maybe. I watched a lot of football this weekend. From Thursday on, I took the day off Thursday, watched football. Celebrated Thanksgiving with my wife, who grew up in the United States.
Atlanta Thrashers fan, diehard.
She was actually.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, really?
She's been to games. She went to games. Yeah.
But you know what? Atlanta Thrashers, they did have a fan base.
There was like 8 people.
No, but they had a decent fan. Like they had like a Florida Panthers fan base,
Yeah.
which could have. But the thing is, Atlanta is such an expensive city. That's the thing,
the
and
issue.
there's no marketing money for that. Like all the ads are going to the Falcons, the Braves, or the Hawks.
And they have historical teams like the Braves. and
that's
the
it
Falcons,
exactly.
right?
It's, tough,
So
it's tough to break.
plus
in.
all the college teams around there as well. Are
Yeah,
big.
but Kovalchuk's jersey was like number 2 while Michael Vick was there.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No,
I
there
guess
was,
people just didn't buy jerseys.
and even like even filling the stands was tough. They tried bringing out cheerleaders and.
Also, if you're a grown man and you're wearing a hockey jersey, you're just like out,
Mhm.
other than a game, like just kill yourself.
You know,
Well, unless you're Kevin Smith.
yeah, it works because that's Kevin Smith.
Yeah, like when I went to New York last week, I saw a guy walking around the day before the Habs were playing in his Habs jersey. Oh, sorry, the morning of in his Habs jersey. Like you can go back to your hotel and change. Like you didn't have to. You didn't have to wear a
Yeah.
Kovalev, an expired Habs jersey, in the middle of Times Square everywhere. You could have just worn a T-shirt.
You know my thoughts on this. I don't wear jerseys in public. Period.
Yeah.
Even to a game, I won't wear a jersey.
Oh no, I'll wear a Habs jersey to Habs game. But if like, I guess it's the only really. When if I go to a Mets game, I wear a hat, maybe a shirt, But that's pretty much it. But I usually wear Expos gear at baseball games.
I'm usually coming from work, so I'm dressed this way when I go to a game because it's after work.
Which I don't mind. Like when I used to work downtown and I had like a nice shirt on, whatever, I would just slap the jersey over. Like I have
That's not bad.
I have
Oh,
a
you
Koivu jersey. It's a
You
little
did
short.
the white douchebag thing.
Yes,
the
exactly.
jersey over the dress shirt.
And it's funny you mentioned that.
Did you pack some Oakleys too?
No Oakleys this time. So it's funny you mentioned that because when we were in New York and we went to go see the Pacers Knicks game, I looked at my buddy next to me, and I see right down is like the floor seats, and there's all those douchebags, those
Yeah.
New York douchebags. Like they're not from New York, but they're from like Ohio,
And,
but
Iowa.
But they work in like some like hedge fund or whatever, so they have money. And they're living in New York, probably with a roommate or whatever, and they all look the same. They're the
Yeah.
same person.
They're built in a factory.
Every single one of them are the same human. They're all the same fucking human. And I look at my buddy. I'm like, this is the one person in the world I could eliminate
Yeah.
in the world. Like, put them all on a cruise, Bill Burr style, and just explode the boat. I would do
Yeah.
it to those types of people.
Yeah, like if Thanos selectively chose those ones to snap.
Yeah,
off, do it.
100%.
That's fine. I'm good at that.
The entitled Wall Street fakers. That's
Yeah.
those are those guys.
So in watching all this football, I came to a couple of realizations. First of all, football's not good for you, man. Like guys are getting really hurt.
It's the worst.
And we're not even gonna get a measure of who's the best team this year because like let's take a look at the Ravens and Browns game from Monday night. Like I was reading on Twitter all these stats about when quarterbacks are sick, like when they've experienced illness and they play the next game, like they're such creatures of habit that missing a few days at the office is a huge deal.
Yeah, exactly.
And they there's like a remarkable difference from how they play. And then you have like at this point Baker Mayfield's playing in something between a body cast and a coffin.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing him struggle just to get out of the huddle. And I'm just like this. Like I'm so excited normally to watch Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield go at it, right? Like
It was the worst
they're
game
two
to
of the
watch.
most fun quarterbacks to watch, and
yeah.
it's trash.
Yeah.
It was such a and it just
Lamar Jackson threw 4 picks.
Yeah.
How does he win? How do you win that game?
because the guy he's playing against is in a wheelchair.
It's the only time it's ever happened where a team scored offensive scored 1 touchdown,
Mm-hmm.
threw in 4 picks,
And won the game.
and they won the game. It's the first time in the history of the NFL that's happened.
Yeah, it was a rough watch. It's just like I always think about this while I was watching that game because at one point this season I was like, yo, Lamar might win his second MVP, and then watching him like that, it's like, well, probably not. And I was like, who?
You think Lamar's MVP
No, well, early in the season.
before that? Okay, yeah,
Early in the season, like week 3 or 4, like when he's doing well. But the thing is,
struggled,
dude,
no?
but who is it this year?
Everybody.
Name a guy.
I mean, last 2 weeks, Dak. I mean, Dak was the leader for a
But
while.
it's always that. It's always so. It was Brady for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and it was
Kyler-
Russell Wilson for the first 2 weeks.
Kyler
of the
Murray
season.
for the first 4
Or
weeks, but
Kyler
he
Murray.
got injured.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like we don't
Just
even
give it to
know.
a defensive player. at
You
this
might
point.
have to.
Yeah, Trayvon Diggs was defensive player of the year, and he hasn't gotten a turnover in 3 games.
Okay,
so
but he still has like the monster.
yeah,
lead of
but like
everybody.
I don't think. I mean, if he gets it, he gets it. But I don't know if he deserves it. And I'm a Cowboys fan.
Well, there's a lot of advanced analytics that say he's actually
not good.
not a great corner.
He's not.
He's just really good good at picking the ball off when
he has very good ball skills, which is that's great, fantastic. Like
but he still makes a lot of mistakes.
There's a lot of
again,
mistakes.
it's his second year. He's not even like 25 years old.
Also, he was a receiver 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He played DB 1 year in college or 2 years in college. But anyway, yeah, he's always like he's not the fastest guy, right? So he has to make up for that with aggressiveness. So he gets called a lot. Anyway, that game, we'll go back to the Ravens and the Browns game, was abysmal. It was awful, especially since I had the Browns.
So fair.
I had the Browns late. I thought they were gonna come back.
I thought they were too.
I had them at plus 375. They tied it up, and I'm like, nice, and then nothing.
So if you're the Browns front office, what are you doing to your franchise quarterback?
Well, they refused to like re-sign him early. They refused to extend him early. So I think they might just be trying to use up as much as they can and do the Kirk Cousins thing.
Didn't Baker already get his contract?
Not his big one, no.
Oh, okay.
He didn't get extended yet. This is at the end of this season. He's eligible for an extension, I believe. But I think they're gonna go year to year, like Washington did with Kirk Cousins. Just tag him until something else.
He forces you basically to not tag him.
Yeah, which is kind of crap because he's wasting his actual life. He's literally wasting years off his life at this point with how injured he's getting.
I think that Kevin Stefanski. I think Baker Mayfield is a fantastic quarterback. I'm a big Baker Mayfield.
I like him too.
I think that he's
fun.
He's fun to watch. He's gritty. He's tough. He's a smart dude.
He's
but the toughness costing.
I love it. Yeah, that's what I like.
The
about him.
toughness is costing him money at this point.
I like Baker. It's true. It's a good point. I like Baker Mayfield this year more than I liked him last year. Last year I heard him like complain all the time, and now he's like, you know what? We're just gonna go fucking play. Forget about OBJ. It is what it is. All that shit. And that's the Baker Mayfield that I like.
But the thing with Baker Mayfield, anybody who does this in the NFL, when they're like, yeah, the injuries, I don't want to make excuses. It's not an excuse. It's okay to be hurt. It happens. That's part of the game. As we see, I saw the stat. Christian McCaffrey has played 5 full games with Matt Rule as head coach. How do you even evaluate Matt Rule at that point as a head coach? How do you evaluate Carolina? And like, what can you even do? Because it's not like the game is more dangerous. The game's always been dangerous, right? Like, so, what can even be done at this point?
You've basically made it so quarterbacks don't get touched anymore. Like, you can't even fall at their legs without a penalty. You've made it so even if you're going to smack the ball out of the hands of the quarterback, that if your finger grazes his face mask, that you're going to get a penalty. Like, there's all these things. The quarterback is super protected and he's still banged up. It's just the nature of the sport. Yeah. If you're accepting to watch this game and you're accepting to play this game like that, you have to accept the nature of the sport, and that's it. So they've taken away as many bad hits as they can, and they've implemented so many rules that there isn't a bad hit to be made that isn't going to be penalized. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, there's no gray areas anymore. It's like you have full responsibility of your body, and so do you. You need to make sure you don't kill each other.
Yeah, which is not working.
It's not working.
But so at this point, I made this case to you last year.
I mean, there hasn't been any big, massive illegal hits this year. I don't think there's been
any.
No,
but it's not even illegal hits. It's just these guys are flying around so fast and the equipment weighs nothing.
Yeah.
So
they're able to. On their
to
bodies that just by week 10,
well, look
11, they're finished. Right?
Kenny Vaccaro just retired, and he played 8 First of all, I have a few things to say about Kenny Vaccaro, but the first thing I'm going to say...
I didn't know anybody had strong feelings about
Kenny Vaccaro. Not a bad thing. I have an observation.
But I'm just saying, strong feelings about Kenny Vaccaro is not where I thought we were going.
It's not a bad or a good thing.
I need to hear this.
I need
to hear this.
He's retired after like 8 seasons. Why do people talk about Kenny Vaccaro so much? Like, he was a good...
I didn't think people did.
But I see him. His name is all the time mentioned here, mentioned there. Like, oh, maybe they'll go out and get Kenny Vaccaro. Like, Kenny Vaccaro coming out of college was unbelievable. I think he went to Tennessee. Tennessee or Texas. Eagle, produce. Kenny Vaccaro. Fucking shit, man. Anyway.
You can't derail Terry like that, because then he's going to look, and he can't look and speak at the same time.
Yeah, so Kenny Vaccaro...
He was born in Texas. He went to Texas.
No, to Texas. I knew it was an orange jersey. I knew it was an orange jersey. Huh?
Isn't Texas red?
No, they're orange.
Wow. Colorblindness.
It's like kind of like a smoky
He was
dark
pick
orange.
15 in the 2013 draft by the Saints.
Yeah.
And then he got moved to the Titans.
Exactly. So he was good. But the thing is, Kenny Vaccaro is always that player. There's always like a list of players that you always know where they are, but like they're not relevant anymore. Like Eli Apple's kind of in that range. Like there's a lot of
Eli Apple's a good one. That's
you know what I mean. Like they're always just there, but they're not really impacting anything. But they're there. Like Pac-Man Jones did that towards the end of his career.
Carlos Dunlap was that for a while.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know if this was intentional, but
like
it
B+
just came out.
Exactly.
It just came out of the news. Kenny Vaccaro is going to take an attempt at esports and actually is launching G1 esports organization.
Nice, good for him. Hey, you know what? Fuck that. He made 8 years of NFL money.
Wait. You went with good for him.
No, but like fuck
and then
that.
immediately fuck that.
No, fuck that. Like good for him. Fuck them. You know,
okay.
like he made 8 years of NFL money.
Yeah.
He's gonna if he kept it and he didn't spend it like an idiot, like most of those guys do, then fine, that's cool. And now he's doing something that's obviously blowing up. It's not getting any worse. It's not like he's investing in coal. You know what I mean? So good for him. He
Liquidate
did it the
your
right
assets. Buy Powerball tickets.
He did it the right way. Chris Borland did it the right way. He only played a couple of years, but still, he took his money. He's like, I'm not going to damage my brain for the rest of my life. I'm out. And he took his money and he left. You got to do it that way.
So I made this case to you last year when Dak got hurt. Is Derrick Henry the MVP by being hurt?
Yes.
Look how bad Tennessee looks without Derrick Henry.
But also to my point when we were talking off air is that Tennessee right now have the most injuries in the NFL, are about to break the record.
But we've
of
also
all time.
seen what Ryan Tannehill looks like without Derrick Henry, and it's the same.
I agree, but the team is built around Derrick
Dolphins
Henry.
Tannehill.
He's Dolphins Tannehill again.
The team is built around.
I was like, oh, I recognize that guy. Yo, what's up, bro?
that guy.
Hey, it's been a few years. Yeah, you look a little different, but still the same.
Tannehill must be one of those guys that we keep in the loop. Like, we kind of know where he is all the time.
Because he's going to play for another 3 teams before he retires.
Yeah.
And he'll be.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
And then
with
he's going to launch an esports organization.
Maybe Chase Daniel, kind of the same.
Chase Daniel hasn't taken a snap in like 4 years.
But we know where he plays
At all times.
He's in San Diego right
At
now.
all times. Yeah.
Great. Good for him.
And he will not play a snap.
Exactly. Yeah. What were we just talking about? Esports.
No, I was saying that because I brought it back to the MVP conversation. Saying
Derrick Henry. I think you can't say Derrick Henry's the MVP, but like really, he's the MVP.
Well, just like Dak was last year because it derailed the Dallas Cowboys
completely
season.
annihilated. Who was the most like the we always say that.
We learned about DiNucci because of that.
No, it wasn't Ben. Ben DiNucci didn't play last year.
Last year, yeah. This year was Cooper Rush when he played.
You played one game
Yeah.
last year, Ben? Because what's his name came in after John
Andy Dalton.
I was gonna say John Kitna. Remember John
Same
guy.
Same guy.
But if John Kitna a couple years ago,
we would know where he was.
That's it.
DK Metcalf took notice of where OJ Beckham landed. He said after being asked for a jersey, maybe go ask for one from Cooper Kupp since that's who you want to be with anyway.
Great quote.
Sorry, it was Devontae Adams,
Devontae Adams,
not
yeah,
DK
yeah,
Metcalf.
yeah.
Sorry, I wrote the wrong name in the script because I'm exhausted. But I kind of like it. It's a bit chirpy and petty.
It's also funny. Like you can tell it's like tongue in cheek kind of thing, right? Yeah. I mean that's cool. I mean listen, it's what you got to do. I mean Devontae Adams, he's like, listen, I gave you an opportunity to play with like Aaron Rodgers. You chose Matt Stafford. Nothing wrong with Matt Stafford. Great fucking quarterback. But he also chose to win in a warm city, big city. We know Odell Beckham likes the flashing lights.
Well, but not only that,
admittedly, Beckham played well in that game. Like the only reason it became anywhere close is because they started to give him the ball and he was just burning our safety.
Well, Beckham's a solid fucking player. Nobody's gonna deny that. When he wants to be the best, he will be the best. That's Beckham.
Or when the ball's thrown to him.
Well, I mean, but he wants. If he wants it, he's gonna get it. Like that's just Beckham and how he is. He's such a good player, but sometimes these guys they get too much into what's going on around them that they just forget about just. Really, it's the worst cliche. Mo Khan would say it. Just play football. You know what I mean?
Well, I disagree because the thing is that Beckham has increased his Q rating by being sort of like this, burgeoning fashion TikTok star and whatever.
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
he has the next step of his career set up, right? So all the power to him. You know what I mean? And I don't actually think it has an impact on the field because we see it, right?
Yeah.
Look, he's not a different person than he was in Cleveland. He was getting open in Cleveland.
Yeah.
They just weren't getting the ball. I don't know why. I don't have an explanation. I've been watching football my whole life and don't know why.
When you force things, you know it. I mean, I experienced it playing for his team the last couple of weeks, but
my life throwing the ball is forcing.
When you know who you're throwing to in the huddle, you're never gonna get there.
Yeah, of course.
Basically. That's basically what it is.
I think there's also an angle here of Robert Woods getting hurt means that the traditional playbook of the 3 wide receiver set, right, the play action, the jet sweep, that type of stuff that the Rams love doing, I don't think they're going to be able to do as much. And this week was the transition week. Okay, how do we get away from that and maybe stretch the field, hit more intermediate?
That's a good
and
point.
Stafford is also a little bit busted up. I heard his elbow is a little bit fucked right now.
Yeah.
So my hypothesis is that Beckham is going to start getting the double teamed, and Cup's going to get open, and when they double team Cup, then he's going to have 1-on-1.
You can't leave Cup 1-on-1.
What are you going to do? You're going
probably the best
you're going to
receiver in
double
football.
Beckham. You're going to double Cup.
Well, the thing
You
is,
think Cup's the best receiver in football?
he might be.
I don't.
I mean, whatever. Like it's splitting hairs. Like,
yeah. I mean, listen. I like.
he's the top 10%, 5%.
I like Cup
pick a
lot.
number.
I think he's great. Oh no, yeah, definitely.
So
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter at that point.
he's
who's best.
elite.
Yeah.
Tier 1.
So the thing is like
Who's tier 1?
I'm
I'm making an article. Tier 1.
tier 1. Yeah. Because
Actually, I'm gonna do tier 4.
S tier.
I think that's a better way to look at it than who's the best, because the margin at the best is so small it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I was actually there's the NFL show with Dan Orlovsky and Mina Kimes. When then they made that trade for Beckham, they were talking about schematically what the Rams should do with the three of them, and they're saying how like Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp are like these hybrid receivers who work as well in the slot as they do outside because they're both excellent route runners, and then having a legitimate outside threat like Odell allows them to always have one or the other in the slot.
Yeah.
And it was going to make them this incredibly dynamic offense, and Woods instantly gets hurt.
It just ruins it.
Instantly got hurt. It was just like we might have to wait till next year to see that if that team.
Who's available? Bring in Julian Edelman, man. All he's doing is packing dips. And speaking of dip,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it. What? Fuck, I lost my train of thought before. Oh yeah, I wanted to say you mentioned Mina Kimes.
Yeah,
You ever noticed that she looks like your wife?
I get that a lot.
My girlfriend said the same thing. She's like, I was watching. I guess it was that show I was watching. It was on TV. She's like, I'm like, Pease really likes this girl. I'm like, and I find her very annoying. And he's like, it's because she looks like his wife. I'm like, she does look like his wife.
Are you saying this because you find my wife annoying?
No, physical. I don't, Matt. I don't. No, physically, they're very like petite people. You know, is she Latin? I guess I don't know. Mina,
She's she's Asian, but I forget where exactly.
Anyway, she could pass as like some sort of Latin, and she looks exactly like you. I find.
Yeah, I've often heard it. So before we get to Alex Intern, just a couple of quick things. One is, let's get to this one specific item actually. Speaking of the injuries, Brady now without having Antonio Brown, and he had Gronkowski miss games, and again just general health. We see like he looks kind of like what Brady looked like without all the weapons in New England, right? Like good, but not this transcendent, like can hit everyone open all the time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, some people still maintained that no matter what, he is what he is. Take a look at what this one fan thought of Tom Brady as he wore his goat costume to the game. I love the look of horror by the child behind him who's like, yeah, no, bro, you can't go to the game just like that. We talked about not wearing jerseys. I talked about not wearing jerseys to the game. Imagine this guy. Hey, honey, I need you to get my pick up my goat costume from the laundromat.
This is unbelievable. No,
I gotta get it pressed.
I think he picked it up on the way there.
Pre-ordered.
Pre-ordered, custom made.
Custom. I don't. That can't be custom.
Is this just a picture or is it a video?
It's just a picture.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for something to happen. Okay.
No, but sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 videos.
Oh yeah,
that's the one.
that's definitely worth 1 million videos right there.
It's at first I thought it was a Colts fan because of the color.
Also, like I guess like Colt, like
Yeah,
the
Colt, like-
the shoe,
Yeah,
horse, maybe.
Horsish. Goats are horsish, right?
No, I mean they're farm animals.
Are
but
they
like,
closer to looking like horses or looking like Tom Brady?
That's a good question. I mean,
So-
pre-surgery or post?
Post.
Pre-Botox or post?
Post-ox.
Does he have that like weird hair where it like dangles to the side, or now he has like the updo cut?
I'm talking about like the Brady now, who now looks weirdly 20 years younger than he did
20 years ago.
when he got
I
drafted.
mean, I guess if you were to like buzz the hair in the middle of his head and just leave horns on the side, I guess he's goatee. I mean, I also haven't seen his butthole, but
he's like Tom Brady's kind of let loose in the past couple like years being in Tampa. I'd like to see him in a goat costume for Halloween. That would be awesome.
honestly, that would.
Did you
be
just
awesome.
miss the reference of Ego wanting to bang a goat in the ass?
I just figured if I talked over it would just
I was
be
waiting
subtext.
I was waiting for you to kind of like use it at the end. Well, at the end, Ego, you just like to fuck goats in the ass.
Yeah. Well, we know that. That wasn't a surprise anyway.
So you basically want to fuck Tom Brady in the ass, what you're trying to say.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah. He's the goat.
He's definitely a bottom.
Yeah.
Even Giselle wants in on that.
Why not?
Power bottom.
Yeah.
Speaking
Maybe
of power
that's what they
bottoms,
do.
we're gonna get to Alex the intern. We're gonna talk to him.
I hear him.
He's on air with us now.
I heard him breathing.
First of all, how's it going, buddy? Long time no see.
Man, you guys were making me laugh, man, with your
I like what you've done with the place
what place?
behind you. We can't even see the poster, man, the flag.
there. It's, yeah.
See, now we know he's an expert. So whatever he says now is fact.
Yeah, has to be fact.
It has to be
It,
fact.
it has to be fact.
So let's set this up real quick. I'm just gonna go with generic. The Montreal Canadiens have cleaned house. So first of all, Alex, before you get into your thoughts on it, what does that mean exactly? Who was let go this week? I know Bergevin obviously was the biggest name to fall, but what happened in the Montreal Canadiens front office this week?
So basically, Molson got fed up with all the performances this year, and it was. I personally think it was after the 6-0 loss last week against the Penguins.
Yeah.
That's
Quintessential.
Yeah, exactly. That's to where I was actually looking. Molson
You know what's
met.
funny? I can tell he was gonna say that, but if I would try to say it, I would ask for help.
So Molson said he met with Jeff Gorton, which the new president of hockey, about
Tim
10
Hortons.
days ago.
I thought he was the GM, and I was like, fuck, they hired an English GM. That's crazy.
Not impossible.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
insane. Yeah, they met him 10 days ago. So who left? Bergevin out. Trevor Timmins out. Scott Millenby resigns because he wanted the he wanted the vice president of hockey operation, whatever the role is.
And Jeff Molson told him, suck my shaft, you're not getting in. So he's like, fuck this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He told him to suck my dick.
Yeah.
get
He's like,
the
nah,
fuck
you
out.
lick mon shaft is that's what he said.
Molson's pretty anglophone though. He said it in English.
No, Mellenby said that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also-
But he's also very English. But he wanted to prove that he
Those are
learned.
the two most English people in the entire
No, but
organization.
he proved he wanted to learn French. So
Yeah.
he just stuck it to him. He's like, I fucking took French classes this lick mon shaft, call this. You know, he would have
and then after he left, Molson was like, he does speak French.
fuck.
Maybe
Bring him
we
back.
should've-
Bring him back.
Then we look weak. Never mind. Let him go.
So what's next? So Gordon's the new VP of hockey operations, whatever he is.
Tim Gortons.
Tim Gordon.
Exactly.
So what's next?
So right now they're looking for a new GM. That's what they're looking for.
He's
And
in the running.
Look, there's a
We
bozo
need
that
dick sizes. We need dick sizes.
Okay. So first dick size. It's Martin Madden Jr. Okay, he's the assistant GM for the Anaheim Ducks right now. His
Madden,
dick size.
spelled like Madden, like the game.
Oh,
Exactly.
Just based
So
on that, I wouldn't hire him because
Yeah.
Madden's been broken for 10 years.
Yeah, 10-year minimum.
Yeah. So do you want a broken team for a decade?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, we've already had one since
Yeah.
Bob Gainey left.
so dick size that's around like a solid 6.
6.
inch.
I would have given him more
Six.
than that.
A solid 6 inch.
It is
Yeah, what are we
cold.
looking
It is
at?
winter.
What are we
It's
looking at
cold.
for? What are we looking at for Matthew Darsh? And I'm saying this for a reason. So,
He's girthy. So
Darsh is girthy?
He's an animal. Yeah, he's a fucking animal. A fucking animal. So
What about Patrick Roy? I mean, if we're talking about big
Oh,
dick
fuck.
energy, Patrick Roy.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
he.
I think it should be him. Yeah.
Patrick Roy. I think he destroyed like at least over 10 headboards in the bed.
You say
Hey,
that.
yeah.
His own head? Please not be his own
You
head.
say that, but rumor has it Chelios is bigger. So
Chelios was definitely bigger. Just looking at Chelios, just smelling Chelios is like oil skin. You know he's packing like something as girthy as this.
Yeah.
100%. And it's
you're right though.
and
his,
it says peas at the bottom
his,
also.
his skin was weirdly oily.
He's Mediterranean. It's all
No, but like even at that, like he might have slathered himself in olive oil every day.
I have a picture of my when he was in Montreal. He did like something for the Greek community, and my dad was like a president of like a soccer fan club here, but he was also involved. And there's a picture of my dad and Chris Chelios holding like a trophy, and like my dad had a mustache, young guy, same age. You know, they're roughly about this. My dad's like maybe 8 years older than him, but like they looked exactly like, except Chelios was so dark. He was like brown. I'm like, this guy's skin is great.
Yeah.
Like beyond, he's beautiful. He's a beautiful human.
He's a good looking
Yeah.
dude.
Greeks, what are you gonna do? Like me.
Another beautiful person, Gino Ojic. Okay, you cannot hate on the guy.
Wait, do you know Jig is in the running?
Hey, you can't spell
Um,
Ojic without the letters D-I-C-K.
That's a very good point. Gino Ojic is in the running?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I was
Oh.
like, man, forget about my tweet about Patrick Roy today. I'm going Gino.
So
Uh,
I saw your tweet, and here's the thing.
Point final.
I have two thoughts on this. One is, I'm done. I think at this point, the Canadiens feel like just one of these organizations that's always chasing the past, and like we always think the next guy is going to be the savior, and it's never the case.
Well,
the best organizations don't do this. They don't just continuously reload, and then bring in a new organizational sweeping change every 5, 6, 7, 10 years, whatever it is. The best organizations have continuity.
Yeah.
You see it in sports. They hire people who are best for the job, not necessarily guys who quote unquote play the game, because it doesn't actually matter for the job. It's frustrating for me to just see them looking for the names that it'll excite the fan base.
Listen, you have to understand it.
So that was going to be my question, right? If you're going to bring in a brand new GM who has never had a role in a hockey organization other than player, or maybe a little bit of shit here and there and everything, are you really serious about doing an actual good job, or are you just filling a void because there's no actual candidates that you think are worthy at that point in time, right? Like if you're going to bring in a Darsh or a Roy or whatever, they're not going to be a good GM. They're just not. We know that's going to be the case.
Patrick has worked in front offices. He has been a head coach. I don't think Patrick was.
Yeah, but at that level, okay. Quebec Jr. I mean, I don't consider that actual real job.
But Darcy does have GM experience in the juniors and the minors.
Yeah, he won 2 Stanley Cups.
But look,
he won 2 Stanley Cups. Who gives a fuck? He was a player.
In front office.
The Stanley Cups mean nothing. They mean nothing.
The past 2 years with Julian Brisbois, who is probably one of the best GMs right now.
But the thing is, you see other sports. You see,
Matt Patricia won a bunch of Super Bowls under Bill Belichick.
There you
He's
go.
a great coach.
That's a good point, actually.
Where is he now?
Nowhere.
He should be somewhere.
He's probably somewhere.
If Freddie Kitchens is calling plays in Giant in New York, Matt Patricia should be calling the D somewhere.
But hold on, there's another
Probably
candidate we haven't spoke about. He's a beautiful guy. It's Roberto Luongo. Okay,
Bobby Lou. That'll never happen.
All of these names do nothing but make me angry because, again,
even Martin Brodeur was on that list.
But the thing is, because they were excellent players, it doesn't. Wayne Gretzky was awful at running Hockey Canada. He's terrible with the Coyotes, or was if he's still. I don't even know if he's. Still
But there's also the Steve Yzermans, who was a Hall of Fame playing career and a Hall of Fame front office career.
What made him great is not the hockey experience. He just happens to also have been a hockey player. Because if you look at baseball, all those teams are being run by guys who are business analysts. If you look
baseball
at the NFL,
is different than hockey, though.
But if you look at the NFL, it's going that way as well.
Baseball, football, different than hockey. Hockey is like
why not get the edge? Why not do the thing that smart companies do?
It's fine, but Steve Yzerman is the reason why he knows how to put a team together is because he's won multiple times on multiply good teams with good front offices.
But it's the same. But again,
you never know if
different because Detroit has that sort of family build, right? It's been the same people in the organization for years and years and years, other than a couple of names.
Okay, Alex, we've been joking about the big dicks and stuff. Who's for legit? Who's it going to be? Because I like the fact that we got Gordon, because I think that it just kind of changes the mentality of what the Habs organization has been going through. This guy helped build the Bruins. So who's the GM?
I like that I can just say Tim Gortons. That's the only reason I like it.
Tim Gortons.
So
honestly,
for me, there's 2 candidates. Honestly, it's really Darsh or Martin Madden Jr. Okay. Those are, I believe, they're the 2 most realistic ones. Luongo he already said he's already satisfied. He's in fucking Miami, bro.
He's not in Miami. He's in Miami. He's in Hallandale. Very different. Yeah. Very different.
Well, I mean,
he's actually in. He's where that school shooting was. Parkdale. That's where he is. Yeah.
Well, Parkdale's kind of far.
Yeah, it's not close.
Yeah, South Florida. South Florida is beautiful. So you won't leave that for Montreal.
Well, he would have by now. He's been retired for 5 years. Yeah, he would have done it. He's amazing on Twitter.
Brodeur said today that he's not interested.
I mean, the guys that we knew aren't going to be interested are the players and stuff. But the guys that are realistic are who Darsh and you said Martin Madden.
And Daniel Briere. Daniel Briere is also one that's intriguing. I'd say I don't know. I don't know much about his post career. I know him as a player.
He's running an ECHL team in Maine. I forgot what they're called because he lives in Maine.
Yeah. ECHL, man.
No, but he's been running that team. He has front office experience, but he's been doing it for a couple of years. But the thing is that we can't just get the new hot and flashy French Canadian guy like we did with Bergevin. Even though I still think Bergevin did a good job, but just I think to a certain extent we need to get rid of him.
I didn't always agree with Bergevin. I didn't always agree with Bergevin, but I will say this. I will say more than not, the moves that he made panned out. Whether it was sort of circumstance or whether it was just a slam dunk and seeing something in a guy like Suzuki, for example. You know what, they panned out.
That trade fell to his lap, though, I will say. I mean,
So
I like
here's
to give
my thing with-
Bergevin credit.
Here's my thing about Bergevin. So I loved everything he did except two things in the past 9 years. So the two things are Sergachev and Durant trades, and not resigning Markov or Radulov.
So you like his draft picks for 10 years?
No. I'm not saying draft
'Cause
picks.
he made
I'm just
those picks
talking
too,
about
though.
moves. I'm talking about moves.
But he's also responsible for those draft picks.
Okay,
And
yes,
10 years
sure.
of pretty trash. And then when he got right, he traded. He got Sergachev.
But Trevor Timmons stayed there for nearly 20 years. So that's a huge firing because I believe he was like the rotten apple within that whole drafting process.
I'm not buying it. That's the same thing like saying that Bergevin didn't know what was happening when he was in Chicago. He doesn't get to skate when you're the boss. I'm sorry. It doesn't fly.
What do you mean he doesn't get the
He doesn't get to absolve
Wasn't my
himself.
draft pick. Trevor picked him. Well,
Yeah,
no,
you can't
like,
do that.
You're
Sorry.
you're responsible
you're the
for
boss.
your
Oh
scouting.
yeah. If you're on that table, you're 100% responsible.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
Just like when he was in Chicago.
Yeah. I mean.
You know, like.
But he wasn't in that meeting.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he didn't know anything while being the head of player development.
But why would all their names come up except for his?
His name did come up.
It didn't.
He just said he was
It didn't.
involved.
No, on the report, his name didn't come up at all.
All right. I don't
No
know, man.
reports.
No, nothing. Zero.
That's
Look, if it
still
comes
enough,
out,
man.
if it comes out in the future, then sure. But
For
nothing.
all we know, you can't.
You're the head of player development. You don't know that minor league players in your company.
If Kyle Beach said that if Kyle Beach listed everybody
you
that
don't-
knew and his name isn't there, how can we rip on him?
It might be that Kyle Beach doesn't know for certain that he knew, but I don't think it's plausible that the head of player development doesn't know something like that's happening.
I
in his
think
organization.
that
Otherwise he's incompetent at his job.
I think it's maybe. I think it's very easy. It's hard, it's very easy and it's wrong for us to call somebody guilty until proven innocent.
No,
All
I'm
those
not. Listen,
all
I'm
those
not saying
people
he's guilty. I'm saying the entire culture was guilty. The entire culture was toxic. And the thing is that to me, the only way he doesn't know is if he's trash at his job. In which case, it's a good thing we got rid of him.
So Alex, I kind of have a general question here, right? So we don't have a lead scout, we don't have a GM. We're 3 months, maybe a little bit over that, away from the trade deadline, right? March 21st. It's a little bit further along this year because of the Olympics, and we're 6 months out from the draft. So, what's the timeline for actually bringing in one of these guys, right? Is Tim Gordon's going to be doing all the work himself for the next little bit? These are interim guys filling in? What's the actual plan here?
Are we bringing in Pierre Maguire?
No, fuck
Are
no.
we sharing Pierre Maguire with the Senators?
No, fuck no. we don't need a Crosby Dick writer, okay? We don't need that.
I mean, if you're not a Crosby Dick Rider, are you really a hockey fan? That's basically.
I'm an Ovechkin Dick writer, so. Yeah.
I mean,
you could be both.
You could like multiple things.
Yeah.
I like turkey and sides.
I'll take all three. Both of them and McDavid. I'll dick ride all three.
Yeah.
Of them. Yeah. Fact.
Menage à trois.
All right.
Menage à tree.
Menage a Terry.
Yeah.
So I think we should see someone by February. I think that's when because
I think
there's
we
definitely going to be a
sooner than
gym.
that.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying there's no way after February or before February.
I think before the end of the year we have a real name, real interviews, third, fourth, fifth steps in. I think we have a real name by the end of the year. Really.
Yeah, because with the trade deadline approaching and a possibility of accumulating two first round picks possibly next year, 2 round. So it's also going to be a good draft year. So I believe they should be getting him.
Well, Alex wants us to tank
here pretty soon.
Wants the Habs to tank
Oh yeah,
for Shane.
Yeah,
Wright.
Shane Wright season. Shane Wright season.
Suck for Shane.
Let's go.
I mean, the Habs have spent the better part of 30 years tanking, so...
No, the thing is that they've never committed to a full tank. If you don't commit,
we haven't had a first overall pick since 1980.
Who was it?
Okay, it's what was his fucking name?
Was he
Doug,
was he a good player?
Wickenheiser?
Doug Wickenheiser. Oh,
So
yeah.
we wasted that pick too?
That's actually right. I'm very much impressed, Alex. That's fucking
Doug
awesome.
Wickenheiser. Yeah, that's a good pick.
But so all this means is
for the record, I googled it only just to tell him he's full of shit. But he was right.
But again, that just means we've been wasting first round picks for 40 years.
No, it just means that
40.
it just means that we never got a first overall pick. It doesn't mean we've
And
been
even
wasting
when we
them.
did, we wasted it.
What do you mean? We won 2 Stanley Cups since then.
Oh, in 40 years.
3 Stanley Cups since
I mean, it
then.
could be worse. It could be the Oilers.
2,
You
93 and
waste-
86.
You waste them like they're fucking
We won
currency.
81, no? No, we didn't win. That was the Islanders. Islanders, the Oilers. No, Islanders.
Islanders, and then it was the Oilers.
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
But I want to bring this up, by the way, because Tony Marinaro brought it up. He said,
I mean, yeah.
Yay.
Jeff Gordon is the official GM, and whatever GM we hire is going to be the puppet. Do you guys agree with what Tony Marinaro said?
So I think that people misunderstand general managers in general and how front offices work. Usually what happens is you get a guy to deal with like player development and that kind of stuff. And you get someone to deal with agents and understanding the laws and understanding the collective bargaining agreement. I can see that kind of arrangement. And that's where I think like the general manager has to be, is like getting somebody who can plan over, hey guys, if we make these deals over 5 years, this will handicap us financially, or you know what I mean? Like we need someone who can handle the finances better than we've seen with periods during the Bergevin era, although he did clean it up in his defense later on in his tenure.
Listen, what kind of a grade am I giving Bergevin before we let Alex go? What kind of a grade are we going to give Bergevin? I'm giving him a solid A-, maybe B+. You're getting to
how many times did we meet the playoffs during his tenure?
Half the amount of years that he's been there.
I mean, is that the standard for the Canadiens? What would you say about? What would you say if the Yankees made the?
Baseball is different because it's like 6 teams make it like only.
But still,
and
Yankees are almost always in contention for the playoffs.
So in my perspective, I think it was the 2013-2014 year where Price got hurt in the first round against the Rangers.
Yeah.
I honestly think that had Price not got hurt, we would have at least made the Stanley Cup, if not won. And I think we're looking at Bergevin talking very differently because that was the plan. We're all in for that season, and then Price getting hurt fucks the whole thing
Who
up.
won that year?
Then
who was
recovering
on the
took a bunch of time.
That was the LA. Yeah, you're right.
Then the Weber for Subban move was another signal of we need to win now. But then the next few years afterwards, you kind of didn't make moves
and
to
it was
win
kind of in
now.
between,
And the last run that we just had was by fluke because of the way the divisions were structured. So I think if you look at his rating for the first 5 years of his tenure, I'd also go with an A. I think the second half I'd go with a C.
So a B.
So we'll settle the B. I'm down with
B+.
I'd say B-. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first part, A. And the second part, what I didn't like, look, I was a Bergevin fan up until this summer.
Yeah.
What he did this summer was a disaster.
It was awful. It was so obvious he was doing it for the French media. It was crazy what he was doing. Yeah. Crazy.
Well, I felt like he thought he needed to retain his job.
Well, I mean, maybe.
Right?
Maybe.
Like, that's what it felt. It felt like a guy who knew the team wasn't going to be as good, and the run was kind of fluky.
Yeah.
And so
a few things though.
It felt like he needed to retain his job.
Bergevin, like you said before, every move he made, maybe not every move, but most of the moves he made were big moves, good moves. But there's times where there was nothing done. You know what I mean? Where things weren't addressed. Like how long were I've been saying this forever. Me and Alex have said it on Weekly Sauce. How often have the Habs been looking for a center? We finally got depth at center, and then we let one of them walk to LA, and then we let one of them walk to Carolina, and these are two guys that were, I mean, listen, Kotkaniemi at 6.1, I understand they're not going to give him that money. The guy scored his first goal last night, and they lost 4-1. You know what I mean? Like, he's not playing well.
You mean they lost 4-1 because of him? Otherwise, the rest of the team was trash.
Yeah, it would have lost 4-0.
Yeah, looking back,
save the shutout.
Looking back at, looking back at that summer, I feel like he should have talked to both Danault and KK. Make sure to know who's more realistic to come back.
Danault was the one. Danault to me was the one.
Yeah,
that at the price tag,
there was a slip
for what he does for the team. I thought was the guy they could have kept.
Mistakes are Radulov, Markov. Those are the two big ones to me.
Sergachev.
Sergachev is one because, like, as good as Drouin is, you can't replace a shutdown D like Sergachev is, who can skate and has crazy success. But Sergachev wouldn't be the player he is today if he was still on the Habs. I don't think that Shea Weber would have. Yeah. Because he's exactly the same style as Hedman with less of a shot.
But Markov maybe would have.
But Markov at that point, Markov would have been great with him. Markov wanted this.
They had number 70 in the press box who helps him by practice.
Yeah,
right?
they had $9 million that year, and they could have spent half of it on Markov, and they didn't do it. And then they didn't even spend it all year. That's the crazy part.
Yeah,
that was an L for me with Bergevin. But the rest, I like the.
But I think
the Weber Subban trade. I've been very vocal about that.
But to Eagle's point, like, the team was never good enough, and then also didn't tank. He always kind of just did in
playoffs.
it was
Everybody
in the first round.
What about Bob Gainey? It's the Habs. It's the organization. You can't tank in this city. It's the fucking city. Bob
then-
Gainey had his whole 5-year plan in 2010, and like, who did he go and get? He got 4 guys that are like,
But then you
over
can't-
the fucking hill.
But if that's the case, you can't leave $9 million on the table.
I agree.
You can't have such a bad record
agree.
of drafting. You can't.
I agree.
You can't ever lose a trade. Like if that's who you are. If your identity is to be elite, you can't be middling.
I
and
agree.
that's what they have.
I agree. They've never committed to the full tank. If they commit to a full tank, the city will get behind them. They have. I know.
Before or after they burn it to the ground.
Full tank meaning you play all your young guys. Look what they're doing in Detroit. Look what they're doing in Ottawa.
I mean,
They're
this
still
year is as close as it gets in theory.
But they're just sending
It's not
Caulfield.
actually.
They sent Caulfield down for like 3 games. What's the point of that? What's the point of that?
Just to use up one of his transactions.
It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing. So Alex,
If there's one thing for sure, next GM, if he's not strong of a character like Bergevin,
like Bergevin was jacked.
yeah,
Biceps.
also physically, yeah, big old biceps. If he's not mentally and physically strong, forget about it. The media is gonna fucking eat him alive.
Tyler Bertuzzi is in the COVID protocol. That's the thing. The media is if he needs to be good on the mic. He needs to be able to speak properly, and they need to be good. We appreciate you coming on, Alex.
Okay, last question for you, Alex. Here, let's say I don't know, the fucking world flips upside down, and they announce that you're going to be the next general manager for the Montreal Canadiens. What's the big blockbuster move you make to make everyone shit their pants?
Yeah.
I trade Price.
Whoa. I mean,
With a no
For
movement
what?
clause.
it's
After
not,
coming off a player
I figure
protocol.
out.
a bag of
I
pucks.
figure out.
Or,
I figure out.
Well, Alex, thanks for coming on. Try to enjoy whatever you can of this Canadian season. I know it's going to be rough. And in the
I
meantime,
ain't watching anymore.
in the meantime, remember Lamar Jackson is okay, but it's 2 a time. So have a have a good night, my dude. We'll talk soon.
later, Alex.
Later.
Peace.
That was Alex, the intern from Hot Sauce Sports.
Internizing.
Our own intern. That was fun.
Wait, what the hell is this?
That's my iPod case. It's a case for my case. It's a donut. I love donuts.
What?
Do you not love donuts?
Fuck this is nuts.
It's a shot case, so it doesn't. So if I drop the case, it doesn't crack.
Okay. I thought they came in this, but
No, I bought it.
Is
yeah.
this from The Simpsons?
No. I like donuts. My wife's is an ice cream.
All right.
We have.
It's kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie.
theme. Yeah.
It's
I'm gonna say, Terry, I'm cute.
Yeah.
Um,
That's how I
So-
get away with arguments at home. I'm like, but I'm cute.
I got a couple quick
You
things
are.
before we get to rapid fire. First, Enos Kanter is now Enos Kanter Freedom. I didn't get the clip, but he was on with Tucker Carlson last night, being used sort of as a puppet of sorts, as like a. I understand someone coming from Turkey who says, "Yo, America's awesome," so like I don't understand what you guys are complaining about, right?
Yeah.
But shouldn't the benefit of living in a free country give you the opportunity to ask for more, to ask for greater, ask for better? Because isn't that
Why isn't he asking?
no? But he was saying essentially a version of "shut up and dribble,"
Oh.
which of course played to the constituency of
Tucker Carlson's fans.
Yeah,
base.
so like, and it was just like, and again, I like Enos Kanter. I think he's an interesting person. There's not that many
Yeah.
people who will be murdered if they ever go back to their home country
Yeah.
because of their political stance.
Did you hear what happened with Panarin this week? I don't know if you have it.
I haven't heard of
So
it.
Panarin threw his glove at Marchand. Like they were talking on the bench.
Okay.
And he whips his glove at him. The reason why is because Marchand told him nobody in Russia likes you.
Well, also true.
Also true. He's not wrong, you know.
But I don't understand how we got to this point where the idea, and it's not just the United States. We're seeing it here. We're seeing it in countries in Europe where, like, if you're a free nation, shouldn't the benefit be that you demand better, that you demand accountability, that you
Yeah.
want more from your country?
Yeah.
So the idea of, well, shut up because things are pretty great here, why would you want that?
Yeah, like when people say like, oh, it's been the best ever in the history of the world. It's been the best time for immigrants and for minorities in the United States and in Canada, whatever. Okay, that's cool. That's great. That's fine. That's
It
what
doesn't
it
mean
should
you can't get better.
That's what it should
It
be.
should
Like,
always, like,
if you're telling me it's worse now, it's like, okay, what are we doing? But you're
Why
telling
do
me
we
it's not.
fuck up?
So
Yeah.
okay, so if we're telling me it's not, then how come these people are still saying something? They're not just sitting here to complain. There's obviously something to be said.
And I think what's most interesting, as Enos Kanter, congratulations on getting his American citizenship.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
Freedom.
But it's particularly interesting when you think of what that song symbolizes.
Which song?
The national anthem of the United States
Oh yeah.
symbolizes protest. It's a song about protest.
Yeah.
The country's built on protest. Imagine if they just said, "Well, look, guys, come on, England's pretty good to us." Right now.
The reason why the Second Amendment isn't so you can go out and hunt if you want. The
It's
Second
to
Amendment
protect you from the fucking Queen.
is to protect you from fucking the government
Yeah.
coming after you. That's what the Second Amendment is
Yeah,
there
but
for.
Terry, you're educated.
No, but it's not that. But that's the thing.
And you're not even all that educated.
Yeah, I'm like half educated.
But that's the thing, Eagle. It's not even about that anymore. It's people become so fixated on a single item, a single issue, whether it's abortion, whether it's the idea of freedom. Dude, we spent how long arguing about some guy deciding to kneel for an anthem? Who cares?
Yeah.
People are buying hot dogs at the same time.
Oh yeah, I mean,
You know,
listen,
like-
you can do whatever the fuck you want, man. That's the thing.
That's
the
literally what the song says.
Yeah, just be you, bro. That's what it says.
It's just it's the strangest thing. I don't understand it. Meanwhile, the Warriors are amazing again.
Unbelievable.
They're the best defensive team. Klay Thompson comes back in like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And they turned Andrew Wiggins into a thing.
So the only reason why I watched the Suns and the Warriors last night is because I had money.
That was a
on it.
good game.
Yeah, it was a very good game, and I had money on JaVale McGee and Curry getting double doubles. Both didn't happen. JaVale McGee had like 4 minutes going into the fourth quarter. I was like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, they don't play him much.
I mean, why would they? Not against that team, right? Because
Yeah.
there's nothing coming down low. But so overall, great game. When I look at Curry and what the amount of attention that he gets when he touches the ball, and then I'm thinking about Klay Thompson coming back, it boggles my mind how this team isn't going to smoke everybody.
I think they might.
It's crazy. And Draymond Green,
So
I've hated on Draymond Green forever. He's such a great defender. I've hated on him because he's just an asshole. But he played really well last night.
Yeah.
And there's this kid. You know him for sure. I've only heard about him this year. Mikal Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Better
I was talking about him to the finals last year.
better defender than this guy.
So the thing is, the Suns are the best defensive team to defend against the
Okay.
Warriors because they have these incredibly mobile, lanky wing defenders who can defend the perimeter, and Ayton, who they don't want to pay for some reason, who can just defend everything.
How well did he play last night?
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton was like, he looked.
He's going to make so much money.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
If they don't pay him,
They're not going to.
they're not going to.
Robert Sarver is a terrible owner.
He's going to play for the Lakers.
He might. The Lakers are going to send all of those old picks,
Yeah.
all of those old players,
Yeah.
and get something in return.
Well, I mean, they have.
Because they're bad.
You can't
They're
keep.
bad.
You can't keep D12, D48, whatever his name is. You can't keep Carmelo. I mean, Carmelo's not doing anything. All you can keep is AD and LeBron.
And THTs.
Yeah, and
Well,
Tucker.
you're probably going to have to staple him to
I
a
won
deal.
money on Tucker last night.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too, actually. I did too. But the and again, Westbrook and LeBron, like Westbrook is just a worse version of what LeBron does.
And they have Michael fucking Porter on the Warriors.
Michael Porter? No, Michael Porter's the Nuggets.
No, Michael fucking Porter.
Yeah, fucking Porter. No,
Okay.
who's the Porter on the
Otto Porter.
Otto Porter?
I think so.
Is it Otto?
Eagle, find out the Porter because Michael Porter's
Porter
on
on
No.
Porter on the Warriors. Anyway, I thought Michael Porter. Yeah, he plays for the Nuggets. You're right. You're right. 100% right.
because he got hurt. He's out for the
But
season.
anyway, but this
Otto
Porter,
Otto
yeah,
Porter's
this
hurt,
Porter
yeah.
guy is good. Like
Yeah,
they
he's
have
solid.
they have good players on this team.
Yeah, Wiseman's coming to his own, and
Wiggins played well. I mean, he didn't play that well last night, but he's a good player, solid player.
he
off the
wasn't
bench.
either. They beat the Minnesota out of him. They beat
That's a
the
good
Minnesota
point.
out of him.
That's a very good
Like,
point.
The
But
thing
yeah.
that not even Jimmy Butler could do, they found a way.
This Warriors team is unbelievable. And the fact that they're doing it without KD makes me so much happier.
I saw a stat about about Steph that that made me insane. Do you know what his shooting percentage is from 5 feet behind the 3-point line to midcourt?
I'd say 95%.
Well, no. It's
19
40.
out of 20.
It's 40%
From the logo
Bet-
to 5
from
feet.
the logo to 5 feet before the 3-point line.
Oh.
So
The
like
long
the
range.
the only
So,
deep 3-pointers.
so a Damian Lillard
I mean, if you
range.
did it 5 times and you
Well,
hit
so
2
that's
of
the thing.
them.
Damian Lillard is so Steph Curry's first of all time
Yeah.
at this. Second is Trey Young,
Okay.
who's
All time.
who's
crazy.
33%.
That's crazy.
So 7%
Whereas
higher.
Reggie Miller's 100, so they just keep him
Nope.
out of there, right?
Not even close. But just back then they didn't shoot from there, right? Like, it
Yeah,
wasn't
that's true.
a skill set. And Dame Lillard, who has that reputation, is at 30%. He's 10% lower than what Curry has done from there. It's
That's
insane.
nuts. That's nuts.
Like there's guys who don't shoot 40% from the free throw line,
Yeah.
and he's doing it from 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, behind the three-point line.
He's changed the game completely.
Just quickly, Lincoln Riley goes to USC.
I was gonna throw that in rapid fire. Yeah.
Oh, you want to throw it in rapid fire?
Yeah, let's do it in rapid fire. Let's go
Eagle,
rapid fire.
All right, before we get to rapid fire, this episode is brought to you by HotStreak.gg, the world's quickest daily fantasy sports game. Terry, tell me how much money you lost this weekend.
On Hot Streak, I actually lost like $35 this weekend, but we're gonna make it back. We're gonna make it back because if you use the Hot Sauce promo code, they will match your deposit with a bonus. The same amount of money you give, they will give back to you as a bonus. Hot Sauce promo code Hot Streak Fantasy, only on iOS. Thank you. Senator Visit.
I'm up a lot during basketball season. I was down during baseball.
It's better basketball, but baseball is so hard.
It's so hard.
Yeah, and football too. It's like unless you're doing the pregame
football,
stuff.
the payouts are just small.
Yeah, it's
So
tiny.
you got to be doing it all game.
Yeah, which I'm not.
Which I'm not either.
Yeah.
But I love it for basketball.
Basketball is unbelievable.
It's awesome.
It's 100. You know, it's 180 seconds, and that's it. Ease.
Yeah.
All right. Copy paste. Lincoln Riley is leaving Oklahoma and going to USC, taking on the head coach position. He was caught on Twitter, though, by quoting part of his speech saying, "This is going to be the mecca of college football," which he said the exact same thing to in Oklahoma.
I love that.
week.
But the thing is like Oklahoma now is going to, and so there's been two big moves. Like Lincoln Riley moved, and then Brian Kelly moved.
Brian
right,
Kelly
from
goes to LSU.
LSU from Notre Dame, and like Jay Williams had a great quote about this, and it's like. It's a huge slap in the face to guys like Notre Dame and Oklahoma. The reason why is because these are the guys that came into your house, convinced your parents to let me take your son for the next 4 years and develop him as an adult, as an athlete, as a student, all that stuff. And then they go and say, oh, you know what, I got bigger money here. They can't even wait the month to finish the season because of the recruiting schedule.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
that's
I
always
get
been
that.
the game.
I get that, but there's also like you committed to these people. I think that you should be able to finish the season. The end. It's not their fault. I think the NCAA scheduling might need to change because of this, things like this.
I don't think it will change.
I don't think it will
And
either.
here's the thing. This actually makes me happy.
What?
Because, like, fuck it. It's a business.
Because Matt Patricia's
Let's-
going to go to
let's-
Oklahoma now?
Let's
or what?
stop pretending. Let's stop pretending this is amateurism. Let's stop pretending it's for the student athletes. And when you see the money, by the way, you can't tell me when you when Brian Kelly's getting $100 million and
That's not
using
what
a
he's
private jet, he's getting $100 million.
You're telling me Brian Kelly made $100 million?
He's getting $100 million to go to LSU. $100 million.
How many years?
5 years. Private use of the jet, which Lincoln Riley is also getting at USC.
They bought his house in Oklahoma, $500,000 over asking. I think two of his houses actually, so it's like $1 million signing bonus. The school bought his house and then bought him a house near USC worth $6 million.
They bought
also part of his package.
They paid the buyout of the contract.
Yeah,
and so these are the same schools, by the way, that said there's not money to pay players. So like, let's stop pretending. Let's stop pretending.
I mean, technically there isn't money to pay players because you can't pay players. But they
you
need
can.
but you can't. You need to create the money to pay the players.
Yeah,
right?
but the thing is that they artificially operated at a deficit by creating these beautiful gyms and training facilities and upgrading the fields and paying.
Did you see LSU's locker room? They all have their own like lounges.
There was an article, I want to say it was in The Athletic, about how all the booster money just goes to paying all of the buyouts from previous coaches.
That's crazy.
That's all it's used for.
Bananas. Next.
You know.
Whistleblower Robert Griffin III has said he's going to be writing a book and is going to expose the truth about the sexual harassment and the Washington football team, specifically calling out Dan Snyder by name in this quote. Is this just to sell his book in anticipation of it, or is there actually going to be shit in there?
Hey,
It
cool
is,
story.
yes.
Hey, cool
Yes.
story. Cool story. You knew all this information. You didn't do anything.
Yeah, aren't you also guilty? Because like
All this stuff you're telling me, you knew. It's like OJ saying you did it. You know what I mean? Like.
it's like Bergevin saying he didn't know what happened in Chicago.
Yeah.
No, it's the thing is.
Except he's admitting to knowing stuff.
Yeah,
They're not saying. When
it's
Bergevin
the
doesn't.
weirdest
They didn't
thing.
know
Look,
anything.
on one side, I'm saying, you know what? If the stuff did happen and it comes out, whatever way it comes out, great. However, you're right. If you knew this whole
Yeah.
time, you're just as guilty by not coming forward.
Cool story, bro. Like, maybe save somebody.
Yeah, maybe literally, in some cases, literally save lives.
Maybe say something. Maybe not say, "Oh, I want to play for the Washington Redskins at the time, for the rest of my career."
Yeah.
While knowing these things.
Yeah, it was it's pretty rough. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way too. I was curious to see what your take was going to be on it.
Yeah.
It rubbed me the wrong way too.
All right, and I'm skipping this on purpose. I'll come back to it, though. Mouthfeel. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Vita Vea, returned from injury just to catch a helmet to the jaw and
Love
chip his tooth. So we get to watch the video here.
Ultimate football guy right here.
Oh, you see his tooth just flying right out.
And he's smiling.
Of course he's smiling. This guy's
Oh my gosh.
one of the biggest freaks of nature I've ever seen in my life. The amount of power this guy can drive from his toes.
I talked about it in the show.
It's crazy.
I talked about it on the show when you weren't here. I need to get 2 wisdom teeth pulled.
Yeah.
And I haven't called to get it done because I'm terrified. And he's smiling.
What are you scared of?
I don't like pain. I don't like it. I don't like pain.
What are you scared of?
Pain. I don't like it.
But what are you scared of?
The pain.
Experiencing pain.
But the pain, what does the pain do?
It instills fear.
Well,
You just said it.
I don't want to experience it.
No, I'm trying to change the way you see pain.
Okay.
Pain is good.
No.
Pain is very good. Like
Okay.
when you're sore and you stretch, when you're sore and you're going on a foam roller or like
Stretch. Do that look like a yoga instructor?
yeah.
Come on.
When you jerk off like 10 times and your skin's a little bit spongy and bruised.
And it makes it a
I
little
don't do that myself.
little ultra sensitive. Pain is good.
Yeah.
Pain is good.
No,
like
I disagree.
like the first time you put a finger in your ass, it hurts.
You know, I
Brady
don't
would know.
Yeah.
Teeth stuff.
You would know. It's a
Teeth
Brady.
stuff specifically freaks me out. The idea of chipping teeth, the idea of losing teeth.
I got jumped when I was like 14 and they chipped my teeth in the middle here. It's like a rice.
I have a so I lost one.
Very
not-
Mediterranean of you.
I got chipped when I got punched in the face when I was younger, and I still remember that feeling. It haunted me. So nah.
All right.
Vita Vita, you're a man. I'm not a man. I'm okay with that.
Ultimate football guy.
Problem cameo. I'm not going to play the whole clip, but Gilbert Gottfried was paid on Cameo to read the comments from Brady Kachuk about the Brendan Lemieux situation where he bit his hand and everything.
Chuck was furious. This is the one time I'm going to answer this, said Top Chuck. It was the most gutless thing somebody could ever do. This guy, you can ask any one of his own teammates, nobody ever wants to play with him. This guy is a bad guy and a bad teammate. He focuses on himself all the time. The guy's just a joke. He shouldn't be in the league. The guy's gutless. No other team wants him. He's going to keep...
I love it. So that looks like Adam Sandler is doing a bit.
No, it's
No, I know it's Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, I know who
But
it is.
I
yeah.
love that he's so old that he can't keep his face centered in the camera. He's only getting half the face and like whatever couch he had in the background.
Duck Chuck. I like that.
So you need to do me a favor, guys, because my wife won't do this. If I die before Gilbert Gottfried, whatever it costs to get him to read,
All right,
just take it out of my whatever my wife's
do
supposed to get, and get him to read my my obituary.
It's actually not that bad. It's only 250 Canadian.
Oh yeah, fuck that! Instant, first thing you buy.
Let's do it. I'm doing it.
And our last rapid fire for today, I'm skipping the Mac Jones one because whatever. Scalpers are currently selling tickets for Spider-Man No Way Home at up to $25,000 for a ticket to go watch the movie, all under the assumption that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to be in the movie and hype.
So they might have No Way Home.
$25,000
after spending $25,000, like
$25,000.
I'll pay gas money
For a movie ticket for the premiere.
for the premiere.
Who has this money?
A lot of people, apparently.
Why don't we have this money?
I
is the
watched.
question.
I watched the show Succession.
Yeah, me too. I just started watching. It's excellent.
Yeah, so I'm up to date. The last season is actually very good, and I realize that there's people like them that just have the money. They have $1 billion lying around.
Yeah,
like Elon Musk saying 2% of Tesla stock is worth my wealth of $6 billion or something like that. I don't know what he said exactly. That it blew my mind because every average person is not going to be able to live up to that amount of money ever in their life. And the fact that somebody can spend $25,000 on Spider-Man tickets is crazy to me. What's crazier is you didn't talk about the guy injecting semen into his fucking back. That's the part that's crazy to
Bicep.
me. How that part, bicep,
to
sorry.
relieve back pain.
To relieve back pain. That's the part that's crazy to me.
That's the story that we cut to get the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Would the semen
Bananas.
be more effective if it was straight into the back?
I mean, bone marrow semen transplant?
Maybe he was just trying to refill his spider shooters with his own semen.
That's a good point. Yeah, so this guy's
Sticky and
Spider-Man.
ropey.
Hey, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe he wants to be Spider-Man.
So what you're saying is me spending $250 for Gilbert Gottfried to speak at my funeral.
Yeah.
Not a bad investment by comparison.
1/100th of the
Comparison.
price of a Spider-Man ticket.
There we go.
Exactly.
We can get him to read it 100 times. Guys, this is fun. A bit of a strange show, but I liked having Alex the intern on because he makes me happy when he's angry.
Yeah, but he wasn't as angry as I thought he'd be.
I know.
Today.
He kind of cooled down, I guess.
He disappointed me.
They had a few days to process. That's why.
Yeah. We need to record him right away next time. Guys, it's been a lot of fun. If you have not yet done so, please do like, review, subscribe. It's how we keep the lights on. It's how we keep delivering content. For those of you who have done that, thank you for that. Eagle.
YouTube has recently changed their algorithm, so if you hit dislike on this video, nobody can tell. So slam that button as much as you want.
Just engage with us. Engage with us. Eagle, thank you for all the work you've done. Although you refuse to do work sometimes. It's weird. Terry, it's literally the easiest things, too. Terry, thank you for everything you've done. And, dude, it's been nice to be with you in studio, man.
We'll figure out a good day so we're all in the studio at the same time.
It'd be really good.
We'll get it down.
Not Wednesdays, please. Thank you, everyone, for watching. But most of all, thank you for letting me be myself. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.